Hello and welcome back to Matt Hayes' Tottenham blog and to another episode of Transfer Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about the few bits of breaking news that broke last night with regards to Paulo Dybala. It's kind of a bit of a bummer that the second part of the news that we heard last night. But before I get started, if you do want more transfer content for the rest of the window and interactive fan live streams and match reviews, please subscribe to the channel down below. It's completely free, and if you hit the bell beside the subscribe button, you get notifications whenever I upload. So the first bit of news that we heard last night with regards to Paulo Dybala was that any move for Tottenham to bring Dybala to London would hinge on departures of Eriksen and Rose. Now these are two players that we know are open to moves away from the club this summer. Eriksen made his opinion very clear at the start of the window, and Danny Rose has been one that we've kind of heard through different sources that the club are open to letting him leave, and he was of course left out of the pre-season tour to actively pursue a move away from the club. Now it is something I was kind of expecting, that Dybala would depend on Eriksen, because it looks like that Giovanni Lo Celso deal is as good as done. A medical is apparently scheduled in for early next week. I don't think there was ever a scenario that would have seen us have the three of them at the club at one time. There were some outlets reporting again yesterday that we actually were pursuing that kind of possibility of having Lo Celso, Eriksen and Dybala at the club, but it never quite seemed realistic, so I wasn't surprised when I saw that news that Eriksen and or Rose would have to leave in order for that move to happen. Now Juventus were interested in Christian Eriksen earlier in the summer, which kind of led me to believe that there's a possibility there that Tottenham might offer a straight swap deal Eriksen for Dybala, which would have benefits for both clubs and for both players, but Juventus seem to have turned their attention to Paul Pogba if they are to strengthen the midfield, so that seems to be not likely to happen. Now Juventus are also interested in Danny Rose. Now the news that Sky Sports broke, they said that should Juventus sign Danny Rose, their kind of valuation is believed to be in and around £25 million. Should that happen, Tottenham would, in that deal to sell Rose, have a bit of a, not so much a clause, but a bit of an agreement in there, I suppose, that for Rose to go to Juventus, Juventus would have to lower their valuation of Dybala, which currently stands at about £80 million. And that would definitely be something that would be really good for both clubs. Juventus getting their left back that they need, obviously bringing in a bit more money than they're letting go, and with their financial fair play difficulties they're having at the moment and their financial debt that they're suffering at the moment. And obviously great for Tottenham to get a bit knocked off that valuation and get a world-class player for maybe £60-70 million. And when I saw that news I was getting really excited, and Kaveh Salakal was speaking on the transfer show on Sky Sports, and he was saying it is a deal that could go through. Well, it's not likely, it is certainly a possibility, and Tottenham are in talks with Juventus over the deal. So when I heard that, I was obviously really, really excited. I was trying to keep myself a bit composed with this deal, because when you see your team linked to a player of that quality, and for the first time it does seem like a bit of a realistic move, it's hard not to get really excited, but I was trying my best to keep calm about it, because at the end of the day there's going to be a load of teams all over Europe who are interested in Dybala, and I'm sure we'd be far from top of his list of priorities. So it did seem, as I said, realistic. I was never getting too excited about it, and I suppose I was a bit prepared for the news that came after that on Sky Sports. Now that is that Juventus are preparing an offer to sign Romelu Lukaku from Manchester United, and they are willing to offer Paulo Dybala in that move to bring down the asking price quite a bit. Now Romelu Lukaku, it's no secret that a move away from Manchester United this summer is probably going to happen. Inter Milan have been the team that have been mainly interested in him, and they have made a couple of offers. I think the latest was £59 million, which Man United turned down, and now Juventus have put themselves into the mix, and they're willing to offer Paulo Dybala as part of that deal. And I was kind of thinking about it, and I was thinking from Dybala's point of view, if he's going to having to pick between Manchester United and Tottenham, and I'm sure that's not the only options he has at the moment, but if that is what it was between for him, looking at United being in the Europa League, Tottenham being in the Champions League, even the quality of players that are at the two teams, and the future prospects, because United now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge, he's a very inexperienced manager, but he does seem to be building a bit of a platform to push on from with the young players he's bringing in. But even so, there's no guarantee that United are going to advance in the next couple of years. They've spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and season on season they seem to be going backwards, barred that one season with Mourinho where they finished second, but of course that quickly fell apart. So if he's looking for a kind of a solid or a more reliable team to go for in order to push on in his career and win more trophies, it does look at the moment like Tottenham is the ideal option for him, because moving into this sort of second project under Mauricio Pochettino, the second 5 years of him at the club, it does feel like this is the moment now where we're going to heavily invest in the squad. And Daniel Levy has said that. He said that now that the stadium is done and the training facilities are done, the only place left for him to invest to bring this club further forward is in the squad. And he said he is willing to do that, but he doesn't feel under pressure to bring in players. So for Dybala, for reliability and for progressing his career, Tottenham does seem like the better option. But it's no secret that Tottenham are interested in him, and obviously Dybala will know that. He'll know that Tottenham have approached Juventus and they are in talks. And I mean, Juventus wouldn't have entered the talks if they hadn't first cleared it with Dybala that it was a move he was interested in. So that was something that was kind of getting my hopes up a bit. But now this news is kind of crushing it all, because it does seem like Dybala would prefer a move to Manchester United, because again, Juventus wouldn't have made their kind of feelings known that they were going to make that offer if they hadn't first said to Dybala, look, Tottenham are in for you, we're willing to sell you to Manchester United to get Lukaku in, would you be interested? And of course, if it is an offer they're now going to make, the player is interested in that. And it's a bit of a bummer, because even with that Tottenham interest, seems maybe like a better move for him, it does look like he's more interested in the Manchester United move. And like, obviously Manchester United are a much, much bigger club than us, and I'm sure they're not going to offer him more money. But it just seems like the fact that they're a bigger club is impacting his decision, even though at the moment we are, without a doubt, a better team. Despite that result in pre-season, we had a U team out there, that's irrelevant. We are a better team, and it looks like we have a better future, a better near future, but unfortunately it does seem like Dybala prefers a move to Manchester United. Now this, as I said, is according to Sky sources. There's been no official bid made yet, but then when you have to look at the Manchester United side of things, first of all, I'm sure if an offer did come in with Dybala and a bit of cash, they would happily accept that. He's a world-class player, and anyone would be lucky to have him in their side. But is it a move that Romelu Lukaku would be interested in? Because, of course, United haven't said anything on this yet. They haven't accepted or rejected the bid. But Lukaku kind of made his feelings clear that he wanted to work with Antonio Conte at Inter Milan. So there's still a slight bit of hope that Lukaku might turn down that deal and prefer to go to Inter Milan. But even then, regardless of the manager or who he wants to work with, at the end of the day, Juventus are the number one team in Italy. They've won the league, I think, the last 8 seasons. They're dominant in the domestic cups, and it feels like they're only 1 or 2 moves away from having a bit of Champions League success as well. Since they made the final, I think it was in 2015 or 2016, they lost to Barcelona, and then they lost to Real Madrid a couple of years later. So that they are kind of making it to those levels in the Champions League. Now last year they were knocked out in the quarter-final, and that has kind of played a part in their financial troubles. But it does feel like they're really close to a bit of European success. And with a player like Lukaku going into a team that already has such a strong front line, with the likes of Ronaldo, Mandzukic, Bernardeschi, the list goes on really. It may be a move that he'd be interested in, but kind of our only hope at this stage is that Lukaku will hold out for a move to Inter Milan. But it doesn't seem that Inter Milan have the funds to complete that deal. United want to at least make back the money they spent on Lukaku, which I think was about 80 or 90 million pounds, and Inter Milan haven't offered anything more than 60. So in terms of financial viability, a move for Juventus with Paulo Dybala would probably be much more realistic. So unfortunately it looks like that short-lived dream is over, and that we won't be signing Paulo Dybala this summer. Now, as I said, if you do want more transfer content like this over the next 2 weeks, hopefully I can bring news of signings and things like that. And I also do interactive live streams where I talk about the latest transfer news, and I try and get your opinions and questions on board as well. So if you want some of that, just subscribe to the channel down below and press the notification bell so you'll get a notification whenever I upload or go live. Please put down in the comments below what you think about this Dybala move. And I know a lot of you had never really thought it was realistic, but what you think about the latest news that he may be going to Manchester United instead. And if you like this video, don't forget to like it down below as well. Thanks for watching.